stretch. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Hotel Television Studios in Texas. Yes, Hotel Television Studios over in Texas. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural USDA prime Angus and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you see their best-in-class Wagyu New York steaks, filet mignons, and the king of all, the ribeye. How about those tomahawk ribeyes? Also, even the gourmet Angus and burgers. Wow, the gourmet Angus and Wagyu beef burgers are unbelievable. In fact, check them out. Those are world-class at uppercutchops.com or call 702-799-9935, 702-799-9935, 702-799-9935. Again, or visit uppercutchops.com for those amazing and incredible steaks. That's uppercutchops.com. And a big welcome in to everybody listening on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. And, of course, KCAA, NBC News, CNBC Financial over in sunny Southern California. Big hello to you, as well as everybody in Las Vegas on KIOF 97.9 FM and everybody else streaming on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Wow Cable, AMP TV, AAMP.TV. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow as well. All right, how about this? How about college? The coaching, worrying about tampering, inducements, 24/7 free agency. How about that? And, of course, they have turned the transfer portal into the Wild West. Now, how embarrassing. Now, according to CBS Sports, there are no transfer portal issues for Lou Nichols III. The nation's leading rusher is actually staying put. He says he loves it over at Central Michigan. And he is, of course, a rising redshirt junior. This guy is something special. He says, I'm kind of quiet and a laid-back guy. Now, over in Mount Pleasant, Michigan might be the perfect place for the Detroit native after he rushed for 1,848 yards last season. That's a truckload of yards. Oh, yeah. And that hasn't kept several large schools, of course, from trying to convince Nichols to enter the transfer portal. We get so sick of hearing about this transfer portal. It's ridiculous. Every school in the SEC, among others, want Nichols. And, of course, one source told CBS Sports this, but another confirmed that there have been heavy interest in the Chippewas star rusher. That would be from Central Michigan. So I don't think it is. Said a person close to the Central Michigan program. He doesn't think it is exaggerated, is what he's trying to say. Now, the reaction to Nichols' breakout season is somewhat less of a story than the standout running back actually staying put. How you like that? And that's how fluid the portal has become. Now, Power 5 programs poaching group of 5 school talents is nothing new. We've seen this for decades and decades, seemingly, but it's been an accelerated process in the Wild West of the transfer portal. As a matter of fact, the portal actually came about in 2018, eliminating the hidden agenda. Yes, how about that? Hidden agenda. What is the hidden agenda? We'll get back to that. It doesn't really matter right now because guess what? Requirements that coaches, the schools or coaches, actually release a player from their scholarship is, I think, what they're talking about. I think that's kind of illegal, isn't it? Nonetheless, then beginning in April 2021, the NCAA began allowing all athletes to transfer once in their career without restrictions, just once, right? I guess that's like, oh, I did something wrong. We're going to give you a slap on the wrist. Doesn't really matter. Now, that did away with the decades-old year in residence rule that required athletes to sit out a year before competing at a new school, which I kind of like that one. And 3 months later, on July 1st, the name, image, and likeness fiasco, the era of the big payoff program, actually began. And of course, all of that combined to create a transfer environment, essentially a steroid. So back up the Brinks truck, folks. That's what we're talking about. And it's back up the Brinks-sized truck. I mean, this is big stuff. Big truckloads of money. Moving and moving and moving. How embarrassing. Nonetheless, if tampering, the practice of coaches attempting to woo outside players to their program, was a problem before, it's a chronic ethical issue now. And there's also an emerging culture, this emerging culture where NIL, the name, image, and likeness compensation deals for recruits and transfers are openly discussed and offered by coaches. If you have a boo button, folks, that's where you'd hit the boo button right there. It's a gray area at least, an improper inducement at worst. And it's the legalization of payoffs to college players from boosters, unfortunately. Central Michigan coach Jim McElwain said of the overall transfer environment, quote, really, I'm coaching at a junior college now. In Lou's case, to say, he's been contacted. Obviously, the coach contacted him, but they have different ways of getting to players, and he has fielded calls, which I kind of anticipate, close quote. Now, as the portal has increasingly become a one-stop free agent shop, coaches have voiced their concerns both privately and publicly. In fact, they should also voice their concern over fixed games too, now shouldn't they? And that may involve what? Oh, the casinos. Yet that's another issue. Maybe we'll get to that, see if we have time. Now, one Power 5 coach with returning All-American players told CBS Sports, quote, people are throwing money out there just to get him. It's tampering. It could be standing next to you at a restaurant and say, let's get that player over there. The tampering school puts their player on him. The players are Instagramming him, close quote. Look, that Power 5 coach went so far as to call the opposing coach, telling him to back off. Now, during the run-up of the college football national championship, Alabama coach Nick Saban said that players are finding it increasingly difficult to overcome adversity in deciding whether to transfer or not. So Georgia coach Kirby Smart, who of course did coach, for whom he coached for Nick Saban, said, quote, it does make you think hard about the kind of kids that you recruit and what their beliefs are and in what their goals are and how they get there, close quote. So whatever the opinion, Saban and Smart are no different than their peers. I mean, look, garbage in, garbage out, same thing. They may seek qualities like loyalty and commitment, yet when it suits them only, but all the coaches are playing both sides of the fence anyway of this big transfer portal crap. And when they need to fill a hole, the portal is the only mouse click away that they need. So there are approximately 1,400, get this, wrap your head around this one, folks. There are approximately 1,400 FBS players currently in the transfer portal. The problem? There are only 250 estimated available scholarships at 130 FBS programs, essentially 2 per school. Now, Sean Frazier, athletic director at reigning MAC champion school, Northern Illinois University, said, quote, I'm good with the concept, but put some type of plan in which is not 24/7 all the time. I think it's going to create what you see right now, and you're going to have unscrupulous pressure on coaches who are under pressure because they make big time money and they have to produce, close quote. That's a very good point by top dog over there in Northern Illinois. Now, Nichols is most likely and most oblivious to being the centerpiece of a national discussion. He's just not used to it. It's not his world. But he's one of those under the radar prospects who blossomed when given a chance. In fact, a 3-star prospect out of Detroit's Cass Tech, he was offered both by Minnesota and Pittsburgh within a 20-day period of April 18, 2018. That is 4247 Sports. Now, Nichols ultimately chose Central Michigan, where he could grow at his own pace. When McElwain got him in his first recruiting class, he was explosive, 5'10", 200 pounds, a nice, good-sized back, not too big, not too small. But guess what? This guy could run, block, and he could catch. Right? There's the 3-tool player. Now, Nichols also led the country in yards from scrimmage after his teammate, Kobe Lewis, went down in the preseason. And Nichols said, quote, honestly, I never wanted to go to a school based on it being a Power 5, and that thing has never really mattered to me much. In fact, the opportunity to play was the biggest thing for me, and I didn't want to go to a school where they really didn't want me there when they were looking to replace me on top of it. I'm not really interested in listening to the other schools, and I'm comfortable with where I am, close quote. Good for you. Now, there's a reasonable comparison between Nichols and, of course, Kenneth Walker III. The difference being Walker left a small Power 5 school, being Wake Forest, for Michigan State last season, only to finish second nationally in rushing with the Spartans to the aforementioned. How do you like that? Interestingly, Nichols High School coach Thomas Wilcher is now Michigan State's coach Mel Tucker's director of community and high school relation. How'd that happen? Said McElwain loosely, quote, "I wouldn't be surprised if Lou ended up at Michigan State at some point," close quote. Do you think? Tell you what, folks, when we come back from break, I want to pick up on this. We've got a little bit more to discuss with this. And this whole transfer portal thing is a really big deal. It certainly deserves more than one segment. So don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus from Hotel TV Studios down in the great state of Texas. Back here in a few minutes, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
AMP, the multi-format network, is here to help create, produce, distribute, and sell your content. For more information, send a message to info@aamp.tv. That's info@aamp.tv.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. 800-908-7016. That's 800-908-7016.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Ray Master Cell, live from Hotel TV Studios here in beautiful South Texas. This segment brought to you in part by Curry Leaf, fine Indian cuisine, flavors of India. Curry Leaf over in Las Vegas. Check them out at curryleafvegas.com. Check out that menu. Check out the tikka masala, the tandoori salmon. Yes, tandoori salmon, tandoori chicken, the butter chicken, the lamb chops. It's all good. Even the butter naan, the garlic naan is good. Depends on what you want. Even if you want naan plain, it's all good, folks. I've had damn near every dish in the house. It's great stuff. And I tell you about it because I like it. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm telling you because it is just a kick-ass restaurant in the southwest corner of Las Vegas, about 10 minutes away from Las Vegas Boulevard. For everybody driving in from sunny Southern California, listening to this, check out Curry Leaf, fine Indian cuisine, flavors of India. They're over at 5025 South Fort Apache Road off the southwest corner of Tropicana and Fort Apache Road. So it's about 10 minutes from the strip. Folks, it is really good, and I mean good. Again, curryleafvegas.com. You can find the menu, see what's for dinner, 702-527-7977. Call them and make a reservation, 702-527-7977. That's Curry Leaf in Las Vegas. All right, a big welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Even our friends over in Honolulu on CBS Sports KHKA 1500. Thanks for joining us as home of the 49ers, home of the San Francisco Giants, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Of course, a big hello to our friends on our flagship station, KCAA, that's NBC News, and CNBC Financial in sunny Southern California, reaching from the high desert all the way out beyond Catalina Island and all the way down to, well, through the Coachella Valley. If you know that old Palm Springs area, folks, we're everywhere. You can't get away from us. Big hello to our friends over in Las Vegas, KIOF Magic 97.9 FM, right around the corner from the downtown Fremont Street Experience. Thanks for joining us also in South Texas, right in our area from Corpus Christi up to Houston and all the way towards Dallas. Got to remember, folks, we're in hotels literally everywhere in every primary, secondary, and tertiary market. We are everywhere. So guess what, folks? You can't get away from us. And hello to our friends over in Natchez, Mississippi, and, of course, Fairdale, Louisiana on 107.1 The River, Mid-South Broadcasting. Big hello to Jim, Bob, and the boys at Redneck Adventures. Folks, you want to see something crazy and ridiculous, check out redneckadventures.com. Boy, that's fun stuff. You reach your hand into a tree, grab a snake. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? Maybe you put your hand underwater and grab a catfish. I don't know. Have an armadillo rodeo roundup. They do everything. And a big hello to our friends over in Auburn, Alabama, WAUD, home of the world champion Atlanta Braves. Speaking of Atlanta, WDJY 99.1 FM. And we even have our esteemed sidekick, and that is Tyrone Poole, two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, joining us from Atlanta. Let's see if he's on. Tyrone, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, Sal. How you doing? How you doing, buddy? How's everybody doing, those listening and watching?
I think everyone's doing great. Pleasure having you on, as always. That's what we do here on the circus. Folks, you never know what's going to happen. It's a circus, and we prove it every day. But now we're proving it without sound effects. We don't even need those, even though we have sound effects. I guess those are our own. All right, so Tyrone, in the last segment, it was about the transfer portal. So there's this superstar running back from Central Michigan, and that would be Lou Nichols. And so there's a story from CBS Sports, and it was about the transfer portal in general. So I was going over some of the details. And, Lou Nichols says, I don't want to go nowhere. I like going to school where I'm going. I get a chance to grow within the system. Tyrone, you know what it's like to grow within a system, don't you?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Growing up with an assistant?
No, with a system.
A system. Oh, that you said assistant.
Oh,
yeah. No, a system. Everything we do in this world is a system. We just don't think of it at the time because we're not focused on the small things. We're always looking at the big things, but everything is a system. how you turn your oven or your stove on. It's a system. You press a button and it ignites this and ignites that, and then you cook your food. So yeah, we all have a system, but whether it's sports, the greater the system, then the better production you're gonna have as an athlete.
Yeah. Well, let's think about this. I want to finish up this little story here with this young man, and then I want to talk a little bit more about some other stuff. Then we're going to jump into a little bit of NFL topic. But look, the Chippewas coach where this kid plays is not really wishing or predicting that this guy is going to transfer. He doesn't want to go to the transfer portal. Hell, there's 1,400 players there. There's only, 250, 300 spots available. I mean, it's ridiculous. But it just seems the way the world is moving at this moment. Now, Nichols remains content at Central Michigan, having landed his own line of merchandise, of course, through his name, image, and likeness deal. So nice round of applause for that, right? And you could get the 2021 Rushing King pudding or Humble Beast t-shirt for this guy. I don't mind plugging it because, hey, this guy, he is a group of five guy, and he's staying a group of five guys. So good for him. I like that. Now, the school erected also billboards around the state of Michigan celebrating Nichols' accomplishments on top of it, because he led the nation with 1,848 yards last season. In fact, that struck him unlike any linebacker, needless to say, or any defensive back that came up and did some kind of a blitz, right? So friends, family, and teammates saw the gesture reaching out and to share those warm and fuzzies galore. So under-the-radar running backs are a trend in the MAC, that Mid-American Conference. And for the second straight year, a player from the conference led the nation in rushing yards. Now, you may remember Buffalo's Jared Patterson averaged more than 178 yards per game in this whole time that we're in, this whole health scare time, whatever. Nonetheless, there were no tampering or portal concerns with him, and Patterson ran for 266 as a rookie last season with the Washington football team. We'll get to the Washington football team's new identity. Of course, being the Commanders or the Commies. We'll get back to them in just a few minutes. But anyway, said Patterson's coach, Lance Leipold, who is now at Kansas, quote, "Tampering is always going to be a concern. Even our guys at Buffalo, in some ways, they're not crazy about the idea of considering the option, but then again, they like it. And not only because the NIL, its resources and development and all that. Nobody wants to see a bunch of programs become someone else's junior college," close quote. So it's a snapshot, Tyrone, of the national transactional talents marketing and market what's going on in real time. In fact, one of the biggest offseason stories was the destination of former Oklahoma quarterback Caleb Williams. Of course, he entered the portal on January 4th, 37 days after his coach, Lincoln Riley, said later, and exercised his own right to move on. Recently, he announced that his transfer to join Riley at USC. Tell me there's not a little collusion there. I mean, who could blame him, honestly? And McElwain said of Nichols finally, quote, "In our case, I think he's going to stay, yet who knows what somebody is going to throw at him, and I may have to tell him, go take it," close quote. Come on, man. Tyrone, this is all about this. Show me the money. I don't have the button. I can't play Show Me the Money. But I'm going to have a new sound effect that's going to be a Brinks truck backing up. What do you think about that?
I know. Beep, 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 beep.
Right. And this Brinks truck brought to you by Tyrone Poole.
Who've actually been playing for a while, and they back up and steal money from the team, and they need to get back some of that money. Talk about some certain professional football athletes, not just collegiately, but money is what makes the world go around, and you need money. So let's face it, the NIL, name, image, and likeness is going to give opportunities where there were not opportunities before. So if you can cash in on it, because in any sport, you're only one play away from something happening that takes away your career. So I'm just glad these kids have an opportunity to make some money, and I just hope that it doesn't become corrupt. The NIL doesn't become corrupt. They don't use it to corrupt an already corrupted system when it comes.
Right. And there is the problem, Tyrone. Really, that is the problem about the corrupt system. Unfortunately, what they've done is they've taken, here in our last minute of the segment, they've taken the last couple of years or so and turned it from a corrupt hidden system to a corrupt out in the open system, in the same light that we've seen the National Football League, Major League Baseball, the National Hockey League, and the NBA go from hidden casino betting and all this other crap. I mean, you can bet on the games, but now, in my opinion, they're cheating in plain sight.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He said he agrees. Yes, I have converted him. Yes, do you see the light? Absolutely. And thank you for saying that.
You know, everything has its place and its time. And there's some things that, you know, it's just like oxygen. It's always going to be there. And corruption is always going to be there, man, on every level, from the pros all the way down to your neighborhood.
Absolutely. I tell you what, we're going to be back here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, Tyler Poole, in just a few minutes. Don't go
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Remaster Cell, live from Hotel TV Studios here in South Texas. Yes, we're all over the place, folks. It's hard to keep tabs on us, but guess what? That's not your job. Your job is to sit there, listen, watch, have some popcorn, get your favorite beverage, and laugh with us or laugh at us. It's okay. Either way, we're going to stimulate your brain, and you're going to like every minute of it. This segment brought to you in part by Cali Vegas. Helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Kelly Vegas can help with everything they need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job, and host your very own talk show in your very own home studio. For more information, contact Kelly Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit online for more information at kellyvegas.com. That's www.CALIvegas.com. All right, a big welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Of course, Magic 97.9 FM right around the corner from the Las Vegas Fremont Street Experience in downtown Las Vegas. Everybody else watching on AMP TV, AAMP TV, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us, AAMP.TV. And, of course, big welcome back to everybody else watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, and WOW Cable. And, of course, we have more shows that are with us as well, too. We have a new show that we're waiting for some of the stuff to kind of happen here. A little bit more production. It's getting exciting. A new show that's going to be right here on AMP TV. Also, locally, I can't tell you the channel. Maybe I can. I think it might be channel, Tyrone, is it channel 26? Did I say channel 26?
26, that's the lucky number.
Channel 26, I believe that's Comcast over in Hotlanta. And that's going to be the Talk and Grind show with Tyrone Poole.
Yes. Man, that sounds golden, man. So they get a little bit of mental stimulation, life and sports, how they run parallel to one another. And, you'll be excited. Basically, you'll be stunned to see how life and sports are so parallel and how sports is a great metaphor for life. And for those who sometimes you can't even understand your own life, but you understand sports. That's why Talk and Grind exists, to help you understand the difference, but the similarities. And then at the same time, because your body is my business, you get a workout. So I'm going to train and tone and inspire your mind, while I'm going to train and tone and inspire you to get into those genes, or maybe that rest that you want to get into. So yeah, Talk and Grind, the whole person.
He said, your body is my business.
That's it.
Now, I like that because that's very catchy. And let's face it, step away from the cookies. Step away from the pizza and get your ass training, get your ass watching Talk and Grind. That's how this is going to work.
That's it.
So, yeah, in case you thought we were going to go to sleep on that, oh, no, folks. You will pay attention and you'll like every minute of it. By the way, speaking of paying attention, folks, pay attention to this one. How about Jim Harbaugh, right, from University of Michigan? Now, Jim was a great coach in the NFL. He's a very, very effective coach. There's some differences somewhere in the system, whatever. But Jim Harbaugh now plans to become the next coach of the Minnesota Vikings. How you like them apples? That's according to NBC Sports. What's that?
The Purple People Eaters.
Yeah, something like
back
that.
In the day, 70s.
I'm a Bears guy. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that Jimmy's in the conference, or in the division. Yeah. So anyway, according to NBC Sports, it's never over until it's over. But it's looking like it could be over, of course, via the Wolverine.com. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh heads to Minnesota. As a matter of fact, I think he did that today for his interview. That will, of course, be the precursor to Harbaugh becoming the team's next head coach. And multiple sources claim the interview is just merely a formality. Tyrone, we've seen these before, which makes sense. And, of course, that gives the interview happening on National Signing Day. How convenient. As a matter of fact, Harbaugh, per the report, wasn't in his office on Tuesday. And, of course, he did not address the team, but he reportedly said some goodbyes and thank yous on the day previous. Now, as we've seen before, these things aren't done until they're done, right? We've always seen these things that kind of happen. Sometimes they creep up. But, Tyrone, it's clear that Harbaugh wants to return to the league. And it's clear that the Vikings regard him as a serious candidate, of course, with new GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, somebody he's actually familiar with. And, of course, based on their 2 years together in San Francisco. So it's all kind of making sense. Now, unlike rising coordinators who may not or may have proven they can win at the next level, Harbaugh has already been a winner in the NFL, going 44-19-1 in his 4 years with the 49ers. Back to his first season, he took a 6-10 team to the brink of the Super Bowl without the benefit of an off-season program. So my question to you, but this is rhetorical, we're going to get into this.
Okay.
Did Flores have the Vikings on his list of job openings and possible interviews? Well, guess what? It seems like Harbaugh made a good decision because the dust is not going to settle in Miami for quite some time. But did Jim have a private meeting with players, coaches, and school administrators before his decision? Do you think that he informed his players, like, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going back to the league. Sorry, everybody at Michigan. I did you right by leaving you with a win against Ohio State. What else can I really do here? I took you to the Final Four, went to the CFP, whatever. I mean, what more could Jimmy do when he's going against Alabama, right? And you're going against Georgia, Alabama. You're going against the SEC. That's pro football anyway. So he just had a game. He had a pro game in his last game. And so is this a good move for Jim Harbaugh?
I think you go where you're most effective. I think it's, easier on the collegiate level than it is on the pro level. The pro level, you have to stimulate men. Men basically stimulate themselves. College, Jim, he had a pretty good career in the NFL as a player and a coach. Collegiately, I think it's just so much red tape you have to go through. You got kids who now with the NIL, it's like I think it's becoming more difficult to be a college coach than ever before. Just look at how kids want to get recruited. They're coming out of high school already making videos and everything like that. So you got to deal with that coming in. But when you're on that pro level, really, what is it? Show me the money. Well, it's
right.
The money.
It always goes back.
Guys.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
So I think he'll make a better head coach.
Show me the money. Always go back to show me the money.
Exactly. And I think he'll make a better coach in the pros.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's think about this. Let's go back because I did mention Brian Flores in the last paragraph or two, and Brian has his big situation. Refresh everybody, Tyrone. What's going on with Brian Flores?
I think everybody knows what's going on, Sad. I think it's been all across the news, and words have been thrown around like systemic racism and, black coaches being not given opportunity to be head coaches. So, anybody, the only people that haven't heard about what's going on with Brian Flores is are people probably who don't watch sports channels. But I'm pretty sure it's been on the local news as well. So, but yeah, that's his situation. Brian used to be the head coach for the Miami Dolphins and was fired there and looking and going to other teams. And normally teams supposed to give interviews to minorities up under the Rooney rule, which the Rooney rule needs to be amended very greatly or done away with. And but he felt like he didn't get his fair shake with the New York Giants. He felt like they basically had already known who they were going to sign. And he was just going through the useless system that the Rooney Rule says teams have to do. And he felt like it was discriminated and he didn't get his fair shot. So that's kind of like the news, so to speak, with Brian Flores.
Yeah, and Brian was a good coach. He did well. He played. Look, you can only do what you can do with the tools you've been given. That's it. And I think he did very well with the tools he's been given. Look, he doesn't have a championship caliber team, but guess what? His team played well. Did they or did they not?
They did. They played real good. They really showed some signs of life this past season and other seasons that Brian has been there. So, of course, you got to rebuild. And it's always tough when you come in with a new system. And it takes time for this system to cultivate. And just like anything, you plant a seed, you're not going to have fruit right away. It takes time. So he did a real good job. And I think they will begin to see signs of growth in Miami.
So here in our last 30 seconds, I wonder, Tyrone, he did a good job, and we've seen the Dolphins turn around, and we've seen this team, they could beat anybody. We've already seen that just in the past season. Those guys beat some really good teams. They went on a tear, too, and rang off a bunch of wins in a row. And that's not an accident. That happens because they believe in each other. They believe in the system. They believe in the coaching. And so, Tyrone, when we come back from break, I want to smash this walnut a little bit. I want to dig in and grab the meat of this thing. So don't go anywhere, folks. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus with two-time Super Bowl champion and American News warrior Tyrone.
You don't sit behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. That's 800-989-1694.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. Again, that's 800-361-3491.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system. And it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit bestsupertea.com. The first word is best, spelled B-E-S-T, then the word super, then the word tea. The complete website is bestsupertea.com, or call us at 818-274-8270, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-274-8270, bestsupertea.com.
Okay, folks, welcome Welcome back to Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Hotel TV Studio here in beautiful South Texas. Yeah, we're in South Texas today, folks. Guess what? We're all over the place. Pretty soon we'll be back out in that AMP TV mobile studio. Who the heck knows where we're going to roll up to? But guess what? Anything can happen here on the circus. Back here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior Tyrone Bull. And Tyrone, this segment brought to you in part by the Sports Circus. Make sure you check out the sportscircus.com for upcoming sponsors. No, not our sponsors. Better yet, how about check out our upcoming guests? How about check out the recorded shows where these guests are at? You know, Tyrone, once upon a time, a couple of years back, you were one of those guests. Yeah, I think that was about 2 years and a month or so ago. How you like them apples? I saw that on my Facebook memories, right? That's good stuff. So make sure you also check out the recorded shows, match up those different shows with all those guests. Look for the Tyrone Pool segment from 2019, I believe. And in fact, you can find that on the homepage and match up the recorded show by clicking on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Yes. Or any of the other logos, whether it's CBS logo, affiliate logo, or it could be NBC, it could be CNBC. Just click on those. It'll all bring you to the recorded show. Match up the date you want with the show you want. Go grab a bucket of popcorn and grab your favorite beverage. And guess what? You'll be entertained, guaranteed. Also, make sure to check out our partners page. And one of our partners, of course, is the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Upcoming baseball games, softball games for CSNCoyotes.com. Check out the schedule there. Always great scouting at those baseball games. CSNCoyotes.com for the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. All right, and welcome back to everybody. Instead of naming it, just welcome back to everybody. And everybody that will hear us in the future, guess what? Thanks for joining us. So, Tyrone, in the last segment, start digging into this Brian Flores thing a little bit that everybody's heard about. But I don't know if you knew this, but Hugh Jackson also suggested that he was paid extra for losses as the Browns head coach. I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm gonna open this up beyond this. I have to give a little background here. So this again was NBC Sports. Former Dolphins coach Brian Flores alleged the Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered him $100,000 per loss during the 2019 season to ensure that they would get the first overall pick. Of course, well, they didn't. Nonetheless, former Browns coach Hugh Jackson made a similar allegation in response to Flores' lawsuit going public. In fact, Jackson responded to a tweet about the case by saying the Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, quote, was happy while we kept losing, close quote, and then wrote, quote, trust me, it was a good number, close quote, in response to someone who said Haslam wasn't offering $100,000 per loss. Jackson, who was now the head coach of Grambling, he went he went one win against 31 losses in his first two seasons with the Browns. That's abysmal. And of course, he was fired after going 2-5-1 in his first 8 games with them. Now, is he trying to do this Me Too thing and get paid from this lawsuit as well? Now, it seems rather timely for him to do this. But Tyrone, I want to offer you something here that I don't think anybody's talked about.
Uh-huh.
Think about this. So let's just say, hypothetically, Brian Flores was offered $100,000, whether he took it or not per game. That's not my business. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
But here's what we know. We know that Hugh Jackson went 1-31 in 2 seasons to get those top picks. And allegedly, apparently, he says that Jimmy Haslam paid him some money. And it was a good number, according to Hugh Jackson. I want to know, and inquiring minds just like yours, listening in, want to know, what in the world did Hugh Jackson do to have games compromised? He wasn't on the field, Tyrone. What instructions did he give and to whom? That's what I want to know. And it goes deeper.
I think that's an easy question right there. You don't run the right plays. You don't call the right plays at the right time. You know, of course, nobody's going to make it look obvious that you're doing things. It's like there's certain laws in this country. You may have them predicated for certain people. You're not going to come out and just say, hey, this law is for these types of people. No, it's too obvious. So same thing in play calling. hey, you run the ball when you're supposed to pass the ball. You pass the ball when you're supposed to run the ball. But it still looks like you are trying to win. So, again, that's why I say as players, I don't think players are involved. I've never been involved in a situation where someone told me to tank it because, guys, most athletes have the mindset that I'm trying to win. But again, I look at the fact that if you're a head coach and you do something like that and you get mad because you sold yourself out to do something for somebody that you thought really cared, ended up hurting yourself down the road because guess what? I'm looking at what have you done for me lately. When I look at your resume, what did you do on your last job? Oh, you went 1-31. I don't care how much you try to explain. Well, I was doing it this way. I was told to do it. No. At the end of the day, you still have the choice to whether or not you want to do it or not. Now, sometimes you're going to always get punished for doing right or doing wrong. My thing is I'm an error on the side of the right. So in case I have to confront or I'm being confronted with a situation, I can speak the truth because that's my brain. And, so I think like with Brian probably was like, hey, you know what? I can't do that. I got to try to win games. And sometimes when you tick people off, it's like in the court of law. They want you to lie. Or when you get up on the stand, I want you to say it happened just like this. Now, if you don't say it like that, then we can lose the case. And then some people be like, no, I can't do that. That's my integrity. My integrity would not allow me to do that. And so many times in this world, people have no integrity. And then here's the clincher, and I'll finish with this. People need to start studying the consequences of the decision that they're about to make. Now, there are a lot of times I wish in my life somebody had told me that. Study the consequences before you make that decision. And I think sometimes we don't do that, Sam. We don't study the consequences. We study the question and then get an answer more than we study the consequences.
Okay, that's a great point. Excellent point. If I had the applause button, I'd hit the applause button. But this is about Hugh Jackson. Now, look, Brian's going to have his day to say everything he needs to, and hopefully for Brian, everything works out for him. But my questions, is it possible that Hugh Jackson may have thrown a wrench into the works of Brian Flores' case in the first place? So hold on. Did Hugh Jackson open up the big can of worms to say, yes, I fixed games in football for money? Should he be treated worse, equal, or less than a guy like Pete Rose? And I'm saying being banished from the sports. I say yes, because if he was saying, I was happy, well, they were happy while we kept losing, and trust me, it was a good number. If Hugh Jackson's saying, I took money, what should be the punishment for him? And was there collusion with the casinos? Was there collusion on the field? Did something happen? It wasn't just play calling, because other stuff has to happen in here, Tyrone, somewhere. You could call a play, but things still could go right. But you don't lose 31 out of 32 games because there's no collusion on the field. Buddy, no team is that bad in the NFL. You know it, and I know it. There is definitely something more here.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you start scratching something and, you keep scratching it, it's going to get more smellier and smellier. It's like they say you peel a onion. The more you peel it, the more it's going to make you cry. So, the deeper you go into these stories, then all other kind of questions come up. So it's an ugly thing. It's an ugly thing. But at the end of the day, I think people just need to have more integrity. Sometimes you got to say no. Sometimes you may lose out on the opportunity, but you keep your integrity. You keep yourself with your chin high, and you can be proud of what you did. And you don't ever want to be a person that go back and later on in life, you're like, well, I wished I did not do that. But whether he comes out right now or whether he comes out later, the thing I say about both of these guys, they both had the opportunity to be head coaches. So you can't say, I'm just being straight as arrow here. They both were head coaches. So you can't say that you were not a head coach.
Right. Well, look, I'm going to leave you with this, and we're going to move on quickly because we got one more topic. We got a couple minutes left. I think Hugh Jackson took a shotgun and pointed it right at his foot, because this dude opened up not a can of worms, but he opened up a super tanker of worms. This guy, I got to tell you, there's going to be a lot more to this story for this guy opening his mouth. Now, it may or may not affect Brian Flores. I don't know, but Hugh is going to have a whole lot of questions asked. And I think we're the only ones that are asking it right here today at that level.
Let me make a 30-second statement here. This is about still coaching, but going back to that Harbaugh. You know, Matt Rule in Carolina, right? He has a lengthy contract. Now, what I'm trying to go after right here is relationships. It's all relationships. Like you talk about Hugh Jackson and he having collusion with somebody else. Well, here's another collusion that I believe. I don't know whether or not the listeners or yourself have heard that Matt Rule, if Jim Harbaugh doesn't get the job in Minnesota, if he does get the job with the Vikings, Matt Rule is a candidate for the Michigan job. Now, Matt Rule has not done good in Carolina, and David Tepper wants to get rid of Matt Rule, but you don't want to get, this is just my opinion here, he don't want to get rid of him by firing him because now he got to pay him all that money. So what's the best collusion? It's all about relationship, man. That stuff is stirred up on every level. So, hey, David Tepper, maybe you send Matt Rule to Michigan. They eat up some of his contract. You don't have to spend all that money. Now you got a vacancy open for your Carolina Panthers. But we have to make it look like he wanted to go to Michigan. But we helping each other. Man, it's a good old boy system, man.
It's always a good old boy system. Hey, man, real quick, we've got about less than 1 minute left here. All right, the Washington Commanders. Really? The Washington Commanders? Think about rank. The Commanders are lower than a captain. Why wouldn't you at least call them the Washington Captains?
Yeah, or the Washington Capitals. They should have just borrowed the name from the hockey team, the Washington Capitals.
Right, then they could have been the football Capitals. Right? I mean, it's all about capital in Washington, D.C., isn't it? Anyway, isn't it?
That's it. Capitalization, a capitalistic world, right? Society.
Yeah. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's always about the Tyrone. I got to tell you, I don't like the Washington Commanders name at all. I think it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What do you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. Just like we were talking about the St. Louis Cardinals back in the day had the St. Louis Cardinal baseball team. They still have the Cardinals. And then they had the St. Louis Cardinals football team. What's wrong with having two teams with the same name? They play in different sports. Capitals, Washington Capitals, Washington Capitals.
I agree 100%. Well, guess what, folks? That's going to do it for the circus today. For two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, Tyrone Poole, I'm your Ringmaster Sal, and we'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.